the grandeur of nature, the serene hills, the majestic gorges, babbling brooks, green pastures, buildings, the stately and the humble. Our past is our heritage. It is the evidence of what we were and where we have come from. It is the very essence of our belonging, what we are today. The past is made up of so many different elements. In the Dreamtime, the way nature had sculptured Wollondilly influenced the pattern of Aboriginal culture and legend, like this, the Mermaid Pool on Bargo River. Then agriculture, dairying, mining for silver and coal continued to make an impact on the area. The grandeur of the natural landscapes together with human activity over many, many centuries have given Wollondilly a heritage that is so rich and so diverse, it is almost unique. And so valuable we must not ignore it. We have to document it and preserve it, so as not to lose it for our nation's children and grandchildren. Researchers and historians will divide their studies into Aboriginal, natural and cultural heritage. Then break down the categories further to create specific heritage themes. There are so many, this program can only be a fleeting glimpse at a few of them. And when most are represented right here in Wollondilly, it's hard to choose. Let's take a look at the visible cultural heritage, where human endeavours have sculpted changes to natural forms. To see the broader picture, we can pull together what seems to be unrelated snippets like Jarvis Field Store, the Terminus Hotel, now known as the Imperial, the cottages in Menangle Street, the station and railway viaduct, the station master's residence and Jarvis Field itself, now the clubhouse for Anthill Park Country Golf Club. They tell the tale of the Anthill family who settled 2,000 acres in 1822. It began as a farmscape with all the buildings that go with it. The remains of barns, silos, labourers' cottages and so on tell us how these people lived. Over time, their activities brought other projects to the area. Roads had to be built for horse and carriage access. Railways were needed to transport produce and later people to and from Sydney. The transport network became very important in the whole area. The Great South Road and the Great Southern Railway line lived up to their names. In fact, the railway heritage alone is spectacular with its quaint stations, pump houses for steam trains, the earliest railway tunnel and the magnificent viaduct over the Stone Quarry Creek. Wealthy landowners built grand homesteads like the Hermitage, Camden Park, Brownlow Hill, St Mary's Towers and Mount Hercules. Around them, labourers' cottages, smaller farms and settlers working on the railways and mines and timber mills and farms had to bring transformations. It all ensured the growth of infrastructure, inns, commercial centres, churches, post offices, courthouses, even theatre halls and vibrant social and cultural communities, ultimately forming full-scale villages, where today we have to be very careful to retain the old and build the new in harmony with it. And from this overall understanding of the big picture, we can turn our attention to the detail. The small bits and pieces that are left help to build the image of what it was like. Like Quigtown, an 1890s part of Yarrandry. We have maps that show a formerly laid-out village of 96 neat allotments. We know that most were sold and built upon. But today there's nothing left. Or is there? A wooden post marks the remains of a fence line, and there is plenty of evidence left to show exactly where the roads and creek crossings were. A pile of stones. No, it's more than that. This is the crumbled chimney of one of the miners' cottages. And so the jigsaw pieces slowly build the picture. Yet, there are still unknowns. What does this carefully constructed circle of stones represent? Was there a general store, and what goods did it stock? Could it perhaps have been here? When there is nothing left of times past, all we have to go on is what we read in books. Mill Hill, they say, was the site of the first flour mill in Picton. There are no illustrations, no photographs. We can only guess it was made of wooden posts. Although Larkin's farm at Appin fared better, here the remains of the mill are clear. But even more importantly, the farmhouse and the landscape are rare survivors of the 19th century. The sandstone building with its hipped shingle roof and rooms stepped down the hillside dates back to 1816. And this old pine, planted over 125 years ago, is the oldest of its kind in New South Wales. Sometimes, if we're lucky, old photos can help. This clump of trees tells us there was once a building there, a renowned creamery, in fact, exporting its quality products far and wide. And, ironically, these contented cows graze in blissful ignorance on the land where it once stood. Other times, we can only guess what might have been in a general area. Like a convict settlement, was this the site? No one can expect time to stand still, and for nothing to change. That would be irresponsibly trying to relive the past. But development does need to make sure there is enough of the past left to show and tell the story of what was, to help us learn from it, for us to enjoy its offerings, and to blend with the new in a pleasing way. Because what is new today will certainly be tomorrow's history and the backbone for the future's heritage studies. So, tell everyone you know about your heritage in Wollondilly. Of the hundreds and hundreds of varied heritage features that we can call ours, we've only seen a tantalising few, a snippet of the vast resources that make Wollondilly uniquely Wollondilly, unparalleled beauty and natural splendour. We're proud to be part of it.